Hi, and welcome to today's Salute to Service. I'm Ed Zackery, Director of the Medina County Veterans Service Office, and with me today I have Navy Chief Catherine Owen and Vietnam veteran Joe Destro. They're both board members on the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund, which is a 501c3 here in Medina that helps veterans, and that's really what we're here to talk about today. But first, I'd like them just to introduce themselves. Tell me a little bit about yourselves, Kathy.
Well, I did 21 and a half years in the Navy Reserves. I was 35 when I joined. A lot of hard work. I came in as an E5 under an APG program and had to pass tests, do school. I went to a lot of schools. I actually did ship duty and stuff like that. Making chief, you get selected by your peers of Navy chiefs. And luckily I got selected. It was a lot of hard work.
So you're much more calm about your career than most people. So I know for a fact you sit on the Navy Chiefs Association here in Cuyahoga County and northeastern Ohio.
Okay.
So she does a lot of stuff for veterans. She's just being kind of quiet about it.
All right. Okay. I'm the treasurer for the Chief Petty Officers Association for Cleveland. I'm treasurer for the Medina County Military Women's. I'm the treasurer for the Medina County Memorials Fund here. I was past president of the Cleveland Council Navy League. I also worked 30 years with the U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps, which is a youth organization from 13 to 18 years old. I did 30 years with them. Yeah, just a little bit here and there.
So she does a lot out there for our veterans. Joe, tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. Well, I'm Joe. I'm from Cleveland. Joined the service after graduation in 1969. Went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 101st Airborne Division. I was going to learn to jump out of planes. Had an accident. Instead of jumping out of planes, they taught me how to type. Okay. They taught me how to type, and after they taught me how to type, I became a company clerk. Spent a year almost a year in Florida. Ended up spending a year in Vietnam, and came home. Didn't do much with veterans activities after I got home until I got to Kent State University. I decided to enroll up there. And they had a group of guys up there that called themselves the Kent State Vets. And the Kent State Vets was a group of Vietnam veterans that were going to school at Kent State. And I found out about them, so I joined it. And it was really a great group for me. Bunch of guys with similar experiences, similar interests. And one of the things that group did, which I'm proud of and I still carry on today, is that we were primarily a social organization supporting each other. Mm-hmm. But the main thing we did really was every quarter, we brought up a busload of two of disabled vets from Wade Park. We'd bring them to Kent State. We treat them to a college sport event.
Oh, wow.
We brought them to a football game, a baseball game, a basketball game, and a hockey game every year. Wow. And we'd bring those guys up. The school gave them free admission to the games. Okay, we treat them to the games. Wade Park would supply the buses to bring them up, and we supplied the manpower to move them around campus.
Oh.
After the games, we treated them to a dinner. Okay, at the local VFW. It's interesting because as Vietnam vets, we couldn't join the VFW.
Right.
They wouldn't let us join the VFW at the time, but they were gracious enough to allow us to use their hall free of charge for our dinners. So we supplied all the food, and they supplied the facilities, and the auxiliary actually did all the cooking for us.
Wow, that's great.
So it was a great event. The only issue was that their hall was up on the second floor.
You get some disabled guys.
And we had, all of the guys were in wheelchairs, so we literally had to carry them up the 13 flights of stairs in their chairs
Wow.
to get to the hall and carry them back down.
Wow.
Okay, it was a lot of work, but I got to tell you, it's probably the most gratifying time I have ever spent with anybody in my life. Maybe second to have my own kids. Okay, but guys are so appreciative, so happy to see the smiles on their faces. They got to campus usually sometime around 10 o'clock in the morning, and by the time they left Kent, it was probably somewhere around 10 o'clock at night. We treated them to a whole day, and every year, guys just keep coming back.
I love it. And flash forward, I know both of you are business owners. Joe, you're retired. And I know both of you are heavily involved in veterans organizations. Kathy, you with the American Legion, and Joe with you with the Vietnam Veterans of America here in Medina County. But something that's been around now for about 10 years is the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund and 501c3. And so tell me a little bit about, from your perspective, why it was started and where it is today and how we got to where we're at.
Well, it got started in 2015. Okay, as you know, and I guess it got started with the conversation between you and I. Okay, we had the beginning of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, and we wanted to do something to bring the wall here to Medina County,
right?
The traveling wall, if you recall. And the problem with that was it took money to bring that wall here because it wasn't cheap.
$40,000.
Exactly. And we couldn't get the money from the state or the county. We couldn't use any of the money from the VSO office. Right. So together, you and I decided to start the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund. And its sole purpose at that time was to raise money to bring the wall, right, so we could celebrate Vietnam and the 50-year anniversary. And we did that. I did all the paperwork. Well, we filed all the documents. We got it filed. We got our 501c3.
And that was simply so people could donate money and get a tax break on their donations.
Exactly. That was so businesses could donate money and get a tax break so that we could bring the wall to Medina. And we did that. And we paid all the expenses. And after everything was said and done, we had, I don't know, $10,000 or $12,000 left that did not get spent. And so we decided at that time to take that money, keep the memorial fund going, and use that money as seed money to support veterans here in Medina County. And because there are certain things, the VSO office does a lot of good for veterans in the county.
Truly.
But there are certain things they cannot do because of the laws that govern what you can do with state money.
Right.
Okay? And so we decided to fill that gap between what the VSO office can do with tax dollars, what the veteran needs done that he can't afford to do.
Right.
So there's a gap there. And we decided to use that money to fill that gap. And there wasn't much there. Okay, I said, a few $1,000s. And we decided to let the community know what we were doing. And slowly but surely, we started getting additional donations, okay, for money for the veterans there. And proud to say that since 2015, we have probably brought in a little bit over $500,000. And I think we've spent, based on what I think we have in the bank right now, we've probably spent over $400,000 on veterans and their needs.
I think last year the expenditures to date were about $356,000.
Okay.
So we're averaging about $48,000 a year. Catherine, so how did, well, I know how you got involved in this, but tell me why you stay involved. What's your passion for helping with the Memorial Fund?
I like helping veterans, and it is a good program because I've seen it worked where people need money for a new roof or handicap stuff put in their houses, bars. We've sent a veteran with his dog for training.
Grab bars. We haven't put any like drinking bars.
We've done dental work. We do so many different things that the VSO cannot handle. And the veteran has to fill out an application online. It does go through a board, has to be approved by the board. and then it's decided if it's a yes or no. But we have helped a lot of veterans, and I do it because I just love helping people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, one of the biggest things when I looked at it, our office, when it comes to National Guard and Reservists, unless they served on Title 10 or Title 32 orders, we really can't help them. And I remember when I started this job 18 years ago, I thought it was crazy that there's an Ohio law that forbids you from helping the Ohio Guard unless they served on active duty. And we're constantly trying to change that in the Ohio legislation. But so the Memorial Fund has actually been able to help a lot of the Guard and Reserve folks that have never been activated do things that, groceries, food, car payments, whatever it is, that they couldn't come to us for. So
Yeah,
that's great.
on that point, if I recall, the very first veteran that we actually helped with the fund was a National Guard veteran.
Yeah, I think
He'd never been activated. He was 80 years old, I think at the time, or close to 80 years old. His wife had a stroke, and he needed to get a wheelchair van for her.
Right.
And he just couldn't afford to buy a wheelchair van. So, we heard about it, and we did our background, our research, and we were actually able to, he ended up buying a wheelchair van, okay, but it needed a lot of repair, okay, to be functional. Yeah. So he bought the van, and we paid for the repairs to make that van functional. And I actually saw him a few days ago, and he is still driving that same van and taking his wife to her doctor appointments and everything else. So
What's the process you go through to determine whether you can help someone? I mean, I know what the process is we go through in our office, but what's the process that the Memorial Fund goes through to say yes or no? Because obviously you can't help everybody. I mean, it's not like there's unlimited cash. I know when, I said something once, I said, well, we've spent up to $300 and some thousand over the last 10 years. And they're like, well, you got a lot of money. When you think about that, that's really not a lot divided over the years. So you got to say no to somebody. How do you determine who you're going to help and who you're not going to help?
Well, we get a lot of help on that from your office because we know there's a financial need to begin with. That's number one. If there's not a financial need, that's not what our fund is for. Right. So we know there's a financial need because of the assistance we get from your office. And then it's what is it that needs to be done? Okay. Is it like we mentioned roofs earlier? Okay. No, we're not in the business to pay for somebody's new roof. That's an insurance issue. Right. If they have a repair or something that needs to be done that can be covered by insurance, we're not going to touch it. Okay. However, if it's a repair, like a repair to the roof, at the insurance, a patch or a hole,
some shingles,
and insurance isn't going to cover it because it's more than the deductible that the individual has. Then with the financial need, we'll step in. Right. Okay. Things like car repairs. Okay. Most people don't have insurance for car repairs. The VSO office can't help somebody for car repairs. But if this guy has a car that needs a repair or he can't get to work, we're going to step in and give him a car repair. So there's a couple of things. One is there has to be a financial need. Secondly, there has to be a reason why he can't get it funded through another source. Okay? And if those two reasons are met, okay, then we take it to the board, and obviously he has to be a vet or a family member of a vet. It doesn't necessarily be the vet. It can be the vet's spouse. Maybe the vet is deceased, and it's the spouse that needs help. Okay, we do that as well. And maybe it's not the vet or the spouse, but it's their immediate child that has an issue. Right. Okay, and they can't afford. We will assist in that, depending on the situation of the family. Every situation is different. As a board, we've got 7 members on our board, and as a board, we look at those needs, we discuss them, and we decide whether we can help them or not.
Kathy, I know you write the checks. You're the treasurer for the fund. So, where does the money come from that you see? I mean, who's donating?
All the money comes from donations. It's all donations. It comes from individual people. It comes from organizations, companies. It comes from people that we've helped. Some of them will pay it back to help someone else. So it all comes from donations from the different veteran services too. If we ask for help, they're the biggest ones that'll come forward the fastest.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of the organizations donate. I know we've had people in their wills donate grants that, you know, they're going to pass away or something like that. What about the fundraisers that we do?
We do Tank the Truck,
Yep.
which is a big one. We have supplies of soaps and laundries and coming in and money and cash. This all gets donated out to veterans in need. We do Toys for Tots. We help them with their organization with the toys coming in.
I know we did the banquet. We did last year.
We
did
do.
the Colors for Honor and stuff.
Yeah, we help with the coalition banquet, which is the coalition is all the organizations, military service organizations in Medina County. We have a meeting quarterly. The banquet raises funds for a person in need, or it goes to an organization that needs it. Yeah, a lot of that money that comes in for that comes back to the memorial fund so we can help another veteran.
So I know one of the other things that, you know, the fund's got some specific things. You mentioned Tank the Truck. We do that every year. Last year we did the Colors of Honor, which we were able to raise $10,000 when we did that here in Brunswick. But one of the other things we do is the honor, banners, honor banners here.
The Hometown Hero banners.
Yeah, Hometown Hero banners. And I know we do that here in Brunswick, and you manage that program, Joe. And
I do.
That brings in a little bit of money for the fund also, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That program was originally started in 2020. If you recall, COVID shut everything down, and it was Veterans Day. It was November of 2020, and every year, for as long as I can remember, we've gone to veterans activities to honor our veterans on Veterans Day. Right. And 2020 shut that down. And for whatever reason, that really hit a sore spot for me. And after that Veterans Day, I thought to myself, we've got to do something so no matter what the situation is, we can honor our veterans. Right. Okay? I mean, these are guys that put their life on the line, in most cases, interrupted their lives. They need to be recognized. So I contacted the local American Legion and VFW here in Brunswick, because I live here in Brunswick, and I proposed the Hometown Hero Banner program to them. Both organizations agreed to co-sponsor that program. Okay. With their co-sponsors, I went to City Hall and talked to our city manager and asked them if we could get their help in putting them up. Because getting the banners is easy. Getting people to buy the banner was going to be easy. But they got to go up and they've got to come down. And we couldn't do that without the support of City Hall. And so City Hall came back and said, yeah, we'd be more than happy to do that for you if it gets off the ground. So we put up, I created some flyers. We put some flyers around town. We put them in businesses. We sent them to all the veterans organizations in Brunswick. We posted it on the city's website. And for 2021, that year, we actually had 53 banners that got ordered. Wow. That year.
So the program pays for itself, and actually the fund makes a little bit of money off the program.
Yeah, the program
doesn't pay for the program.
No, the program pays for itself. Yes. The price they pay to buy the banner to get put up. Okay, 90% of that or so goes to the cost of the banner and the cost of the brackets to put those banners up. Okay, we absorb that cost, but it's paid for by the cost of the banners. And then every year, that's a one-time cost for the families, unless the banner gets destroyed. And then every year, the city takes the banners down, and every year they put it back up. So that'll give us a lot of longevity with these banners. But it probably, I would say that program probably clears around $1,000 a year is about all it clears. Not much, but it's a little bit, but it's more to continue the recognition of veterans on Veterans Day than it is as a fundraiser.
Well, and that's one of the things the charter of the fund says is the charter says that we are here to promote veterans and, give recognition to veterans and then help veterans of Medina County. Of course, 95% of what we do helps the veterans, but we do things that support and honor our veterans out there too, because that's how we started with the wall, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that was really the piece that we started. So we're going to get, if anybody wants to make a donation to the 501c3, we'll get that information up there. That money stays here in Medina County. It does not go outside of the county at all. So, and like I said, we've had donations from companies, individuals. I know we get some payroll deductions. People donate to us also. So it's really great. It's a great opportunity to help veterans here in your community if you want to help.
Yeah, we've also we did get our website up and running about a year and a half ago, and you can make donations on the website. Okay, the website is medinacountyveteransfund.org. Okay, and we do have right now, I think we have at least one person that's making a monthly donation through that.
From the payroll,
Through that front. That's a payroll deduction, if I'm not mistaken, for them, and it comes in through that fund, which is really nice.
You can find both applications down there for the hometown banners and for if you need assistance.
Assistance you can apply online too.
Application on that
Those
website.
go to you, Joe. I think you go, and then you divvy them out to the
Yeah,
board.
I check the email accounts where they come in every so often, so we know what's happening. And we get a lot of applications through your office, and we've had a couple of applications that have come in through the website as well.
I know one of the things I want to throw a shout out there is, we've paid for a lot of ramps to be built for folks that can't get it from the VA, and we're always looking for people that want to build ramps because we've had the money to go, well, we'll pay for the ramp if you got somebody that can build it.
Yeah.
We just don't have the labor. So if you're a company out there or just somebody that's good with woodworking and you know how to build a ramp, we could probably give you some business, right?
Right. Yeah. We can.
We seem to do a lot of widows of veterans need ramps, and unfortunately the VA can't do it, or people aren't eligible for VA health care. Because we always, if someone says a ramp, first thing we try to do is get them into the VA to get it built. But the problem has been finding somebody that can build the ramps and do repairs and things like that. So,
And if any company wants to donate money or even assistance price-wise, there is a letter of thank you and for your donation that goes out with the 50C3 number on it.
Yeah. So it is a 501c3, all tax deductible. So just to finish up here, what's your plans for the fund in the future? And I'll ask Kathy first.
Funds for the future?
Yeah, for the fund, what's your plan for the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund moving forward? Where do you want to see it be in, say, 5 years?
Well, I'm hoping that it'll be here in another 5 years. Hopefully it'll be bigger than it is today, and we're helping more veterans out there than we are today. It is a great program. I love it. Being a naval reservist, I wasn't entitled to a lot of stuff because I never had the active duty behind me, but only a couple months. And I like to see it help everybody.
Good. Joe?
I have to agree. I think there's a lot of need here in Medina County for assistance, and I would like to see our assistance grow. We now fund the guitars for veterans, and what I'm hoping happens is that all the veterans in Medina County, are aware of all the programs that we can offer them. And take advantage of them. The problem with veterans is that we are hard-headed and we're stubborn, and sometimes we don't want to reach out for the assistance that we need. So I'm hoping that we can get the word out to the veterans that we're here for them to reach out to us, even if they don't think they might need it. Reach out and let us make that decision for you. And if we can't help you because of whatever the circumstances are, then we will let you know. We do not let any application go unanswered. So we have no problem looking at the applications. Come in, let us know what your need is, and if we cannot help you, we'll let you know. And if we can't help you, you're going to be further ahead.
I think that's important to notice too. That you mentioned the Guitars for Vets. All the holistic programs that we're running out of our office. 90% of them have been paid for out of the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund. So all those art supplies. I think you've bought about 26 guitars to date.
And I can say with the guitar program, it's a great program. I am involved with that. I am taking lessons. They give out 10 lessons, free lessons. At the end of the 10 lessons, you get a guitar for take home for free that the Memorial Fund pays for. It's a great program. It gets the vets together. We talk, we play. I think it's a really great program.
Great. And coming up in November, we're going to start, Tank the Truck will start back up. So be looking for donations for laundry detergent and, donations so that we can purchase all that laundry detergent. This is really a community effort. Tank the Truck is not just for veterans. That goes out to Feeding Medina County to their food distributions. We distribute that laundry detergent. I think we've been doing it. I think this will be our 16th or 17th year.
Yeah, and just to take the Tank the Truck program, what we would do with that program, we don't buy food and give food out.
No.
But we're buying sundries, we're buying soaps, we're buying detergent.
Things that they can't get at the food bank. Yeah.
Things that the food bank cannot supply, but these are things that the people in Medina County need.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that again. And then obviously it also purchases the Christmas Dinner for Veterans program. I think last year we were at about 200 of those that we gave out. So great thing.
I believe we're going to be set up at the Medina County Fair.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to have a table at the fair. You guys will be there for Veterans Day at the fair.
So if you want to come down and talk to us, we'll be there.
So, all right. That's all I got. You guys got any closing remarks?
I just love the program. I think it's great. I'll continue to be with this program forever, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're listening to this program and you know a vet and they're in Medina County, please remind them that we're here. Check out our website. Okay, if you live in Brunswick, check out those banners that are on the poles around Veterans Day every year. And you know what? If your veterans banner is not up there, you should be getting a hold of us and getting one up there for him.
All right. I want to thank Kathy and Joe for coming by today. And my name is Ed Zackery, Director of the Medina County Veterans Service Office, and I'm glad to be here on Salute to Service. We'll see you next month.
The City of Brunswick will display Hometown Hero banners on utility poles 3 weeks prior to Veterans Day through the Friday after Veterans Day. Please see the application provided by the Medina County Veterans Memorial Fund for options, pricing, and how to order. For more information, I'll ask you to contact Joe Destro. He's heading this up. So 440-567-5428. For more information, that's Joe Destro, 440-567-5428.